Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Um, Welcome to the new season of Talking Books with Tanisha. I am really excited. There's been some time between our summer season and the beginning of this new season, season five. As we talk about all the things, we have some really fun surprises for you this season. Let me first start by introducing myself for those of you who are new to Talking Books with Tanisha. I'm Tanisha. I am a person who loves to read, who is an educator, who thinks that putting books into the hands of our youth, and anyone who's looking for a good story is like the most important thing. Those who can own their own stories or be able to tell their stories. I don't know, the strength that comes around literacy and comes from like reading and writing. Strong storytelling and strong characters are things that I really enjoy. And I really like talking about books. This is a channel that allows us to have conversations about books that some of us may know, some may never have heard of before, but hopefully offers the opportunity to expose us to new stories and new ways of being. And in this season, there's lots of great things that are coming. I have some interviews coming with some really great people. I'll be talking to just like everyday friends about the books that we've read together or read at separate times, but are going to talk about together. And then introduce hopefully some new stories too that maybe you haven't read before. So, all that to say, my first book that I want to share with you all is actually in honor of Native American Heritage Month. That's November. Um, I'm excited to share this book mostly because it's something that was lent to me by a friend, and also another book that was something that was shared from our Native Education Department. They have a kind of a shelf of books where they put out kind of newer books that they're reading. And this book, the one behind me, is called Mascot. And if you get this book, if you get the hard copy of this book, it's a really beautiful cover. You can't really tell on the picture behind me, but on the cover of the hard copy, it's like a glittery kind of like sparkle that goes on this maroon color. That's the backdrop for Mascot. And what you probably can't also tell, maybe you can tell, it's like a big X that's going across. And you can probably tell just by looking at some of the things that are kind of up here in the corner and down here that this is about Native American use of imagery, imagery of Native American images used for mascot reasons for schools. And so it seemed appropriate to talk about this book because I think it also highlights what happens when people use mascots that are from Native culture without permission in ways that are detrimental and stereotypical and harmful to Native American people. And so this book is about a middle school where a teacher who identifies as Black and lesbian, assigns an assignment to her middle school honors class, English honors class, and they have to write like a debate. They have to kind of take a position, and the position is, should we change our mascot, which has been around like for a lot of time, a long time, or should we change it to make it more culturally appropriate and sensitive? And what seems like a pretty maybe simple question, if you've been around lately, you've been hearing legislation that's going around about using mascots and what's happening to school districts across the country who have had these mascots and not either have worked in collaboration with tribes and are now being asked to either choose a new mascot or to work into collaboration with tribal partners around doing some kind of co-design work around bringing in mascots. If you're a part of any of this conversations happening across our country, you know that it's not a simple conversation. It just seems simple, right? If a mascot is as harmful, then we get rid of it. What happens in this book by Charles Waters and Tracy Sorrell is they actually bring in the perspective of seven different students, and these students are all given a different perspective to write. And so some of them they're all assigned. They have to either write they are for or they are against. One, two, three, four. Yeah. And in these essays that they're writing, we get a chance to kind of hear what their actual feelings are, because some of them are writing against their actual opinions. So we get to hear how their opinions are around keeping this mascot. We get to kind of feel and see what it's like to go like to games and have this mascot represented in ways that are really stereotypical. We get to see the perspective of a Black Cherokee Nation citizen. We get to see the perspective of a Black African American Black boy. We get to see the perspective of an Indian girl. Her family was born in India. We have a perspective of a sixth generation Irish boy who has socioeconomic needs. We get to hear from a perspective of a white girl who's really trying to be a white ally to her friends, but doesn't always do it well. And then we have someone who immigrated. We have an immigrant from El Salvador. And all these perspectives are present and very strong in whether or not they are for or against keeping this mascot. And what I appreciate is that there is no easy answer. Like what you're going to find in this story is that and it takes place right outside of Washington, D.C. So it also really parallels what's happening with like the actual NFL team. What you're going to see in this story is friendships being tested, family members, kind of being surprised and like, having some of like their really strong beliefs be kind of like shattered or being pushed. You're going to see really deep commitment to like history and like tradition. You're going to see Native people who are impacted directly, who are new to the area, but have already felt like, this kind of this otherism that's happening. You're going to see people talk about why race is an issue. You're going to talk about like kind of the comparison between like different racial groups and different oppression types. It's a really very complex story. And it takes place with middle school students. And so we're hearing from the youth. The youth are one driving the story. And then we have adults that come in. Some of the adults are going to surprise you. Some of the adults you're going to think for sure are thinking one way and are really going to be thinking another way. And you're going to be kind of be thinking about the conversations that are happening around this. I like this book a lot. I recommend it to you for several reasons. One, because it's Native American Heritage Month. It's important for us to be reading books that continue to visibilize Native people. Second, because you should be reading books anyway, all the time, all year round, around Native American stories that are contemporary, that are happening right now, and not just historicized. And third, because like it's important for us to have books that are having the voices of youth centered. And I like when we have not just books about young people, but also books where young people are kind of like sharing the messages and sharing the lessons. This is a great book. It's recommended definitely for, I would say, middle school up. It's really, I think, it lends itself to really strong, good conversation and dialogue, maybe even a little bit of debate. Um, and it's available for you like at any store. This was a book that was lent to me, so I'm gonna have to, return it back to the person after I finish. But you'll find a place where you can get the book that speaks to you. And I'd love to hear what you're reading. So if you want to put that into the chat so everyone else can kind of see what's happening for you too, in our comment section. I want to thank you for joining me for this episode. There are more books that are coming. There's been so much reading that's been happening between the last time I met with you all and today. And I can't wait to share all these books with you. So excited. Join me again. If you like what you're hearing, please like and subscribe and share with other people. Let's keep the books in the hands of people. Let's keep reading. Thanks for being here. Have a great evening. Have a great day. Have a great morning. Wherever you are in your time of the day, enjoy it. And remember, keep reading.